The next step in our database is to create a report. Now we've joined our tables together and they're linked, so the loan table can get information from both the DVD and member table. But we want to make a report, and in this report we want to list the members of the station video library and the videos that they have borrowed, as well as adding up the cost of each of those videos. So how do we do that? Well, this is how we do. I would recommend that you use, or start off at least with a report wizard. And then go through that, and then from there, we can modify it to any way we want. We start with the loan table because that's our central binding table with the other two in our relational database. We want to load all the fields across, so we just click this one and all our fields are loaded. Be careful about these. These are foreign fields or foreign keys. Make sure you load the foreign keys in here, not individual keys, because that means you won't be able to then go use that as a reference to go back to the DVD table or member table. So the loan table has the foreign keys, the DVD table and the member table have their own primary keys respectively. So loan table, all the fields. Member table, well, all I want is know who it is, so just the name. Don't need to know anything else. And from the DVD table, what do I need to know? I need to know the title, and I would like to know the cost. Don't care about genre or loan type. Next. Yes, I want to have it by loan because that references then across to the other two tables. Now, I want to group it by member ID, which means that I can then put all of the loans together for each member. So it does that for me, which is very nice. Don't really care about how it's ordered at the moment. Yeah, that'll do for the minute. Next, I'm going to call it members loan. All right, let's preview the report. Now, a few issues here. Date of our loan isn't showing. We see these hashes here because it means it hasn't got enough space. Other problem is for Beasley Snodgrass, his name is appearing twice for each loan DVD that he has. Well, that's pretty pointless. I'd rather have his name up here against his member ID. That means it would only appear once, and then the titles and so on would appear later. So how do we do that? Let's have a look. So what we need to do is close our print preview first. That brings us back to the table design, which looks a bit weird, but I'll explain how this works. Your report is divided up into different regions. The report header, that's the first page of the report this thing appears, members loans. And then on each page, which is the page header, you get these headings appear, and then underneath that, we've grouped it by member ID, so each member will have their borrowed DVDs below their name. And then finally, we get a line with all this. Now, the problems is we've got name and surname appearing each time a video or a DVD appears, which is a bit of a waste of space. So we would like to have these appear on the same line as that. So how do we do that? Well, we just drag them up, put them in a different region on the report. Just trying to line them up with their titles at the top. Now, the next thing is the loan date was a bit squashed up, so we'll bring that across. We'll also drag title across. Now, one thing it looks like didn't come across was cost. We missed that one. We can add in a cost, and and we can add the cost for each DVD, and then we're going to show the total at the end. Right, to add cost as a field on the table, we just need to go to design. I'm going to put a text box in. And we'll draw in our text box, which will hold our cost. We actually got a label with it, which we'll just delete. How do we actually get the text box? We'll just line this up with the other one. Yep. How do we get a name for it? Well, we go to the property sheet, which we've got open, and we go to our data, and control source is where we're getting the information to go into that field. So we click on that, and we want the cost, which is already there in our list. Right, so here we have our DVD ID or number, loan date, the title, and the cost, and the names are now in the region above. Now, it gets a bit confusing because of all these titles all over the shop, so we can actually bring a bit more space with the page header. We can actually drag a number of these down so that they're on top of the actual just give that a bit more space. Our title, we drag down here. Now we're missing one for cost, so we just get a new label here. Bung it in here. And we'll type cost in there, C-O-S-T. So there's our title. We'll just bring that back a bit because it doesn't need to be that big. Right, now if we have a look at our report, that should show our new set of headings below. Now look, there a bit of space here which we don't want. If you want to select a number of things at a time, just run your the mouse over all of them so that they're contained in the box, and then the whole lot will move together, which makes life a bit easier. We can then move this back up, make a bit more less space, and let's have a look at what this is happening now. And that's much better in that we've got our DVDs here, our loan dates here, we can actually see them, and our title, and the name only appears once with the number. Now, a problem though is, first of all, the cost, we didn't put the $ in there for our convention. The other thing is, this should have 2 decimal places. How do we do that? Well, let's go back to our report design, just very quickly. And we go to, first of all, we're going to the cost in here in the format. We're going to put bracket, dollar bracket, which means that's the units that we're measuring it in. Now we want this to be in 2 decimal places. The way we do that is go to format. We want a fixed number of decimal places, and they are 2. We now going to save that, and if we have a view of it, we can now see that their cost is in dollar, and they are displayed with the 2 decimal places, but we're not getting the total. So how do we do that? Go back here to, we're going to set what's called a calculated field, but we can't do that because there's a header here for member ID, but there's no footer. There's a page footer and a report footer, which is the end of each page or the end of the report, but we need to add a footer for the member ID, which is the section that we've got this stuff going on. So we click on the header of the member ID, we click on group and sort, we go down here and click on more, and it says without a footer section. We want one with a footer section. Click back on here, the group and sort. We now see that we've got member footer here. So we're going to put in a cost. How do we do that? We go back to our text box. We just draw one out. Doesn't matter where it is at the moment because we can always move it later. Okay, so I'm going to shorten that a little bit once I get the right arrow. Good. Whack that in here under cost. I want this to say total cost. So click on there. Doesn't really matter. Caption, you can do it here, you can do it up here. I'll do it up here. And that'll say total cost. Oops, cost. And that's in dollars. Right. And now, calculated field. How do we get the total cost? Well, it's like a formula in Excel. We start with equals to show it's a formula. Sum, because we want to add them up. Open bracket. Now, to identify a field, you actually have to use square brackets around the name, except I need to do that bracket. Cost, close. The square brackets represent the field. The round brackets represent the function that is being acted on for the field. We bring this up a little bit. Now, the other thing I want to do is put each separate member's loans on one page. So I go up here to the page break, click on that, and I go down here below my summary and put a page break in. Let's save that. All right, quickly view that. Now, oh, that's all very nice, except I didn't get this right, the total cost, so I'm going to have to fix that. The other thing I'll need to do is to sort out the value of this number. So it's back to design very quickly. We go into total cost. Try that again. TAL cost. And we want the dollar bracket at the end. Good. And then here, we want the format to be fixed. And we want it to set at 2 decimal places. And we want it to basically line up with the other ones. So we just squeeze that along a bit till it lines up with the other cost. All right, let's have a look at that. Let's save it first. Have a look at that. And report view. There you go. Costs and total cost. And it's adding up beautifully for each person. And that is how you do a report in Access.